Tash and Martha from Breaking the Distance.
We met in January 2019 whilst traveling in Bali. We were staying at the same surf resort and met on our first day there. We instantly hit it off as friends, but there was definitely a flirty energy there too. When we realized we both like girls, it got more interesting. We had been hanging out for a few days and even gone on what would be considered a date. Finally, during a late-night dip in the pool, Martha made the first move, with a kiss. We actually have very different coming-out stories. I have known I liked women since the age of 16, when I had my first lesbian relationship, Martha. However, I didn't realize I liked girls romantically until 2016, age 24, when traveling in the Philippines, I met a girl there and fell in love. We were together for 2 years. We think it's about being open-minded and prepared to meet new people. Go to places where you know that LGBTQ people are accepted, e.g. Thailand, Bali, etc. Sometimes it may mean you have to leave your comfort zone, but just be sure to live in the moment. We were long distance for almost 1 year and finally broke the distance on December 28, 2019. At times, it was incredibly challenging to be apart for so long, but the best piece of advice we can give for any long-distance couple is to communicate. It's so important to be open and honest with each other about how you are feeling, as words are all you have. It actually became our strength. The distance has made us so much stronger as a couple as we have had to work through so much. We really feel like we know each other much better than if we had been dating in the same country. Listen to Martha and Tash, their lesbian podcast, Breaking the Distance, to learn more about their story.
Whitney and Megan from What Megan Did Next.
Yes, we have a crazy story about how we met. So many people, younger than us, don't even know that MySpace existed. Haha. Whitney was living and studying in Hawaii and returned home to Kentucky for Christmas. It was Christmas Eve in 2006, and as she was jet-lagged, she was up late on the internet and decided to have a search for British girls. She'd always had a thing for British accents. She had to Google, or maybe even Yahoo, a random English postcode to input to the search. Lo and behold, my face popped up on the first page. She added me as friends and I accepted, thinking I'd never meet this blonde cutie who lives in Hawaii. We chatted on for about a year or so, until Whitney decided to do a study abroad program in London. She informed me about half a year beforehand and we started messaging each other daily, in the lead-up of knowing that we were going to be meeting soon. We didn't let the other know that we might have feelings beyond friendship. But let's say that all changed the day that we met in person in 2008, and here we are nearly 12 years later as a lesbian married couple. We were both very openly gay online and in real life. Despite living countries apart, we realized that we came out around the same time, at 15-16 years old. We met in person when we were 20-21. We endured a lesbian long-distance relationship for 4 years, and it was a struggle, but for sure worth it. We coped by maintaining constant contact. Thank goodness for the internet. We would write each other long Facebook messages about our day, due to the 11-hour time difference from the UK to Hawaii, and send each other videos, chat via Skype, or even Viber back then. Most importantly, we both were equally committed to making it work and we had the same end goal. We got engaged in 2011 in Hawaii. Megan proposed to Whitney on our fave beach, and we conquered long distance in 2012 after a failed visa. Whitney moved to join me in Windsor, UK in 2012. Had we our civil partnership on September 28, 2012 and upgraded to a marriage in 2017 on our anniversary, in Palm Springs, California. The best tip we can give is to simply embrace and accept who you are, and be truly ready to love. We know firsthand the struggles of finding other femmes, and we always wanted to help others find a love like ours, which is why we launched Find Femmes, our dating site and community for femme LGBTQ women. We'll be launching an online publication for femmes soon, so follow at Find Femmes to make sure you don't miss out.
Ali Patel va Prayani Chandrasegaram.
Prayani saw Ali at Pride Toronto's 2018 Dyke March wearing a shirt that said, "Not all lesbians are white." Prayani pointed it out to her friends because she was stoked by the representation of queer South Asian women. However, we didn't get a chance to speak that year. Fast forward to Pride 2019. Prayani saw Ailey on a mutual friend's Instagram story and asked them for an introduction, after explaining that she had seen Ailey the year prior. We connected shortly after and had our first date at this super cute queer bookshop/cafe in Toronto's gay village. And here we are now. We immediately bonded over our alike narrative as a second-generation, queer, desi, gender-fluid woman that grew up in different regions surrounding Toronto, shared similar experiences, such as both of us having a strong sense of desi identity while growing up. Repressing our queerness at a young age due to an inability to conceptualize it at the axis of queer invisibility in South Asian culture. As well as South Asian invisibility in queer culture, which then led the both of us to feel like the only queer brown person ever. The pressure to assimilate, as well as the shame for our desi identities, intensified upon entering mainstream LGBTQ spaces. We felt unable to share personal narratives with others without vigorously defending our culture as prior context, and this became extremely exhausting. However, meeting someone who shares the same intersections made us feel less alienated as queer South Asian women, instantly felt a sense of comfort and belongingness upon meeting each other, as sharing our respective lived experiences allowed us both to feel valid in our queer South Asian identities. We fundamentally reject the notion of coming out, as it is a colonial construct that does not align with South Asian cultural values. Due to the vastness of South Asian families and diasporic communities, queer South Asians are often required to navigate outness in a similar manner to fluid identities, so it can easily fit our environmental, situational, and relational contexts. Nonetheless, we've been gay all our lives. You do not need to assimilate to Western normative queerness in order to be valid. If your date makes you feel uncomfortable for performing queerness in culturally conducive ways, then leave. We assure you that will not end up alone. As an active organizer in the queer community, it took me, Ailey, just over a decade to find other queer South Asian women, let alone begin dating within this realm, but it was so worth it. You do not have to be out or identifying with a label in order to engage in queer relationships. If your partner cannot respect this, then dump their ass. If you're looking for an online community/spaces of belonging, we run a Canadian grassroots organization called the Queer South Asian Women's Network. Find us at QSA Network or on Facebook.